All right, let's dive into something really cool today. We're talking about a brand new community project that's all about teaching AI not just to talk, but to actually think. This is going to be fun.
So, let's kick things off with a question that might sound a little strange. How is it that a huge, powerful AI can write you a perfect poem about, I don't know, a cheese sandwich, but then it completely faceplants when you ask it to solve a simple logic puzzle? It's a really weird paradox, right?
And that paradox, well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack first. Let's call it the AI reasoning puzzle.
Okay, so let's get into the weeds a bit. These large language models, or LLMs, they are amazing at what we call generative tasks. Writing stuff, summarizing things, even spitting out code. But the moment a problem needs a few logical steps to get to the answer, like a math problem, they just tend to fall apart. They try to guess the answer and the reasoning all at once, and it just becomes a jumbled mess.
So, if that's the problem, what's the fix? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Let's talk about how we can start teaching AI to truly think. And this is the star of the show right here. It's called OpenR1. Think of it as this open-source community project with one big mission, using a technique called reinforcement learning, which is basically like giving a puppy a treat for doing the right thing, to teach these AI models how to work through complicated problems, one logical step at a time.
And here is the secret sauce. The big breakthrough idea behind OpenR1 is to train the model to do something we humans do all the time without even thinking about it, separating the process of figuring something out from the final answer itself. The model learns to first lay out its thoughts, like its internal monologue, and only then does it give you the final conclusion.
And wow, when you see it side by side, the difference is just night and day. On the left, that's your typical LLM output, a chaotic soup of steps and guesses all mixed together. But on the right, that's the OpenR1 way. It's so clean. First, you see the thought process, laid out step by step. And then, completely separate, you get the final, correct answer. It's a total game changer.
This is such a powerful shift in thinking, right? So let's pop the hood for a minute and see exactly how OpenR1 pulls this off.
Yeah, what I think is so cool about this whole thing is how they've made it super accessible. They've laid out this really clear 4-step path for anybody who wants to jump in. You start with the basics of reinforcement learning, then you dig into the big research paper that started it all, then you get your hands dirty with the actual code, and before you know it, you're aligning your very own model. It's a complete roadmap from start to finish.
Now, I know what you might be asking. What do I actually need to know to get started? Well, they say it helps to have a decent grip on Python and to be kind of familiar with machine learning. But honestly, the most important thing is just being really curious and interested in AI. The learning materials are designed to walk you through the heavy lifting parts as you go.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how, but now we get to the most important question of all. What does any of this mean for your future in AI?
Well, let's just cut right to the chase. As a student, a developer, or just someone fascinated by this stuff, why should you care about a project like OpenR1? What's in it for you? Why does it actually matter?
This right here is the big takeaway. Getting involved in something like this gives you a huge edge. You're not just reading about cutting-edge AI in an article. You're seeing how the sausage is actually made. You get real hands-on experience. You start to get a feel for where this entire field is going. And probably most importantly, you start opening doors to some seriously amazing career opportunities. This is how you stop being a spectator and become a player.
So really, you should think of OpenR1 as more than just a project. It's an invitation. It's an open call to join this incredible journey and to actually have a hand in building the future of open source AI. And that brings us right to the end, and to a final question that I want to leave you with. As this kind of technology gets better and easier to use, the real question isn't what can AI do anymore. The real question is, what are we going to do with it? So, what problem will you teach AI to solve?